Now here he is, the man of many moods, Terry Sullivan.
You know, I just want to know how late you stay up to think of one-liners.
I didn't. I started early this morning.
You know, just a simple intro will do good. It'll work great. Good job. I noticed you changed the riffs a little bit on that intro.
Yes.
It's
Just for you, man.
Yeah, you know.
I'm here for you.
You pay the price, don't you?
Absolutely.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Carrie.
Hello.
Hi, Amy.
Hello.
So glad you're with us today. Today we have Caroline Barron and her daughters, Carrie and Amy, and we're talking about weddings. We're talking about weddings. And I'm excited to do that because I don't know anything about the way you do your business. I had a gentleman on here, and you know him, Corey Walker, who owns Living Canvas Tattoo. Mm-hmm. We had him as a guest a few weeks ago, and I didn't know anything about tattoos. But before we got finished, I knew a lot about tattoos, and I knew enough about it to know that I was not going to get one still. I told him my mother would never let me get one growing up, and I'm 60-something years old, and she still will not allow me to get one, so that's where we're at. So glad to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Carrie, glad to have you, and Amy, it's good to have you. And by the way, these ladies here have been in New York shopping for wedding stuff, and so they're always on the go. And so we're going to try to keep them awake for the next 30 minutes. Carolyn, you opened the Bridal Boutique in Old Town Lewisville in 1990.
Yes.
32 years ago.
32 years.
What possessed you to do that? Do you have a background in that, or did you just say, get up one morning and say, you know what, I'm going to do weddings?
I had somebody that talked me into doing it. She had a event, kind of an event. She did flowers and catering for weddings, and she had been in Louisville for a long, long time. Her name was Carolyn West. I'm sure a lot of people probably still know her. She would just go set up weddings. There was nowhere to buy dresses. So she said, Caroline, why don't you lease out the upstairs and open up a bridal store? And at that time, Amy was little and Carrie was in second grade. Amy was in kindergarten. And I thought it was time for me to do something because I'd been staying at home. So I leased out the space upstairs at the corner of Main and Mill in the old bank building. And I went to market in Dallas, and I spent $20,000 that I did not have, that I had to put on a credit card. My husband went to Mervyn's, a Mervyn's that was closing, got out all of the interior of it, brought it up here, and made the top floor into a bridal store.
Now, your husband's name is Steve.
Steve.
And back in that time, was he supportive, or did he say, well, we're going to do it, but I don't know?
Yeah, he was very supportive. He just, you know, he was like, well, if that's what you want to do, then let's do it. And so we opened up, and we had that top floor and all those windows up there. We put dresses in all of them. And our first year, I think, we sold $125,000 worth of dresses. And back then, there was no internet. There was no...
But that was a lot of money back then.
That was good. Yeah. Well, when you think that was over 12 months, that wasn't really that much money. But, I mean, it was a start. And so we stayed up there, and you would have to go up 21 stairs to get up there. And Amy rode the bus home.
Wait a minute. Why would you know that?
Because...
I mean, that's pretty detailed right there. You got to go up 21 stairs.
Well, because the UPS guy complained about it every day. I had to climb 21 stairs to bring packages. Okay. But Amy would ride the bus to the corner, and they would let her off at lunchtime. And she would come up, and we had a little couch in our office, and she would take a nap, and we would have lunch, and she'd take a nap. And we really started off about 3 days a week, and then it started growing, and it went to 4 and 5, and now we're open almost 7 days a week. And then we bought the building, the old building across the street, which is now the wine house, and we stayed there for 10 years And then we bought the Masonic building, and then we bought the building next to it. And so we've just kind of expanded and just grown. And back in the 90s, there was no internet or Instagram or any of that. So you had to have a Yellow Pages ad. So we had what they call a dollar bill sized Yellow Pages ad. And that was a lot back then. It was like $1,500 a month for that. And that's kind of, I mean, we would try to get the biggest one we could afford so that we could compete with the stores in Dallas. And here we are.
Caroline, and here we are, because here we are means that women from all over the world come to Old Town Lewisville to shop in your store.
Yes.
We have them at the barbecue house. I think y'all send them down here because they always say when they come in here, I always know if it's ladies shopping for wedding dresses because they come in groups.
Yep, they come in, yep.
And they're kind of in a coma once they get in here, you know. they say, we've been told this is a great barbecue house, and that's why we're here. So we get to talking about it. And some of these people, I've had people come in here from California. I've had people come in here from New York. And you've even had customers come from across the water.
I'll let the girls talk a little bit about that.
Well, we carry, in our store, we do carry certain lines that other people cannot carry because it's highly sought after, and they only allow a certain number of stores to carry them.
Now, okay, now let's talk about that. So, name a line.
Berta.
Berta, okay. And Berta is some of your more expensive gowns.
Yes.
And so how did you get that line?
Well, we were at market one day in New York. We were walking by. We were just walking by, and it was their first time to be in the States showing their collection. They're from Israel. And we saw a picture of a dress, and it was beautiful. And so we're like, well, let's just go in here and see if we like the dresses. And they have a model, and they put all of the dresses on for you. And you talk to the sales rep, who our sales rep is actually Berta's son-in-law. So they're also like a big family business over in Israel. And we kind of took a chance on it. You know, it's our most expensive line. So it was a very big investment for us.
Well, because those dresses, according to your website, those dresses run anywhere from $6,000 to $14,000.
Yeah, and it's probably even now. It's probably like there's nothing for $6,000 anymore. It's like $8,000,
$9,000.
Yeah, $9,000 to $15,000 now.
They keep getting more expensive.
Yeah, they keep getting more and more expensive.
We just looked at the new line Thursday, and it's the most expensive it's been ever. It just keeps creeping up.
Like everything, right?
Right.
Like everything today, everything, the
Yeah,
costs just keep rising. So let me ask you this. When it comes to, and of course you do have dresses that are $1,500 and all the way up to whatever it is. When it comes to buying wedding gowns, what's the most expensive gown? Is that the right term? Is it a wedding dress or wedding gown?
Either way.
Okay, I just want to feel smart. I don't get that opportunity too often. So when it comes to buying a wedding gown, what's the most expensive dress that you have sold in the last 30 years?
Single dress, because we do have girls that buy 2 dresses.
You have girls that buy 2. Are they getting married twice?
So
Ceremony and reception dress. I would say our most expensive dress that we've sold in the last 30 years is like $14,000, around there.
That's all I have to say. So when it comes to weddings, I mean, they're a lot of fun, obviously, but they're very stressful. Do you get involved in the stress of it, or are you
Absolutely
able
not.
to calm it? Are you able to calm it down?
Well, I think we're the luckiest one of the vendors that are involved in a wedding, because the bride comes to us, about a year before her wedding, and she just chooses her dress. So if we make that experience amazing, and then once her dress comes in and she picks it up and it's perfect, we're pretty much not done with her, but like it's pretty seamless for us. So come in, make the experience amazing, have her buy her gown, size it as perfectly as we can, and then once she comes to pick up, if it's correct and she's still the same size and it fits well, most of the time they leave very happy, and they have a good memory of our store. We don't really get involved with day to day, so it's kind
If
of
it's the same size. So you're saying you have women that come in and they size up for a dress, but sometimes they come in and they're either bigger or smaller.
right.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
We'll just leave it at that.
We're not gonna talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
But that's gotta, okay. So just briefly take me through the process. A party comes in, a mom, her daughter, her bridesmaids, they come in. Take me through that process. As soon as they enter the door, do they have an idea of what they want?
Well, most people do, and I think that kind of is because of social media. I mean, that's pretty much how we operate these days. That's how we get most of our customers, and that's why they come to us, because of what we have online and on our Instagram. So most of the time they'll come in, everyone has a dedicated sales associate for 2 hours. They go over where they're getting married, the vibe of their wedding, if they've tried on before, and then most of them will have a picture of something that they're interested in, and then a price point, of course. And so then the sales associate will pull dresses based on all of that information. They'll try on for 2 hours, pick a dress, get measured, pick a size, and then wait for about 6 months.
All right, let's get into that, because I'm interested in this. I'm interested in how you calm the stress of a mother and daughter when they're picking out a wedding gown.
Champagne.
It always comes down to alcohol, doesn't it? So have you ever had a situation where they just get angry picking out a dress?
We have, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so our sales staff is pretty well trained in how to, diffuse situations and make those situations not happen. We try to calm their nerves, say, show us what you're thinking, tell us the vibe of your wedding, and we know every dress in the store. So we'll go grab, start with 5 dresses, and once you start liking stuff, we'll pull more in that style, and then if you don't like stuff, we'll not pull stuff in that style. So they really take it, and guide the appointment, our stylists do, to get down to the dress they're gonna love. People come in every day and they're like, oh my gosh, how do you know all these gowns in here? Because we have over 1,000 dresses in the store.
Oh.
And that's where the stylists come in. They really know every dress, how they fit, what they look like, the price point, if we can get them in time, how they're gonna look on a certain body shape. So it's really, I think one of our main, why we're so successful is because our stylists are so good at their jobs.
Let me back up just a minute. Caroline, these are your daughters, and obviously, and they were literally raised in this business. Mm-hmm. I mean, they would go to school, they would come, they'd do their homework at the shop and things like that. So at what point did y'all have a family meeting and did you say, you know what, this is what's going to happen, y'all are going to run the shop? Or was there always an interest in the girls taking it over?
Well, I mean, Carrie went and taught school in Houston for a couple of years, and that didn't pan out so well.
Well, I had to find a husband, then I came.
Nothing pans out in Houston.
I know, right?
I hope your marriage is intact there.
Amy tried to be an insurance agent for about 9 months or a year.
It was a year.
Yeah. And
she proudly said it was a year.
11 months, okay.
And then they were like, why are we doing this? We should just, come up here and work at the store. And so.
Is that what you wanted?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. To have your family there is the most important thing because they look out for all your interests. I mean, we have a manager too, but it's still not the same as when they're there. People look for them too because they're kind of well known in the bridal industry and they're well known, like all of our followers on Instagram. And I mean, they know they're the face of our store now.
Right.
And girls that are getting married love that that's their age. This is their age, not somebody my age,
Yeah, we're starting to age out.
We're closer than her. Let's just put it that way.
That's another one. We're just going to leave it at that. Okay. So, Carrie and Amy, did you come in at the same time? I mean, did y'all get together and say, you know what, we're diving in?
Well, I got married and moved back to Houston for 2 years, and that's when she started working at the store. And then then I moved back. So we were like kind of like a 2-year gap,
Yeah.
a year and a half. And then once we both started working there.
I think that, I was an insurance agent for 11 months. And then I came on end of
You really want us to know that, don't you?
November 2009. And then I was by myself, without her. And we just started kind of getting busier. And I was like, you need to move up here and work with us.
As sisters in the same business, do you always get along, or do you get irritated with each other, or you smack each other around?
Most of the time we get along.
Yeah.
I'd say about 95% of the time we get along. We have our certain departments, what we do, and kind of how things are divided up. So.
You ever have to call your mom in to like you did when you were kids and say,
Not really.
Not really, yeah.
tell me the funniest story of something that has happened inside the bridal shop with people?
Well, we had a guy that proposed.
Oh, yeah.
He hid in a dressing room, and she came up to look for dresses, and he popped out.
No, she wasn't looking for dresses because she wasn't
Her
engaged.
her friend was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Her friend was looking for dresses, and I guess he thought it would be a good idea to propose during
it a
that
good
time,
idea?
which was kind of weird to me, but it was different. It doesn't happen every day.
We just kind of went with it.
Yeah, that was back in like 2009, though.
It's
Yeah,
been
it was
a
a
while
long time.
back.
It was a long time ago.
So when you have when you're going through all this through the process, this is a personal question. So when you're going through the process, how often do you just turn around and just roll your eyes like, oh Lord?
Do we want to be honest here?
At
That
least
would be good.
once a day.
Yeah, we.
Depends on what day it is.
Yeah.
Saturdays are way more hectic, so usually Saturday.
Yeah. Caroline, what was the vibe of Old Town Lewisville in 1990?
It was really pretty run down here. I mean, there just wasn't much. Now, I mean, there was Carolyn West, who had it was called Bridal Boutique. She did flowers and catering. There was a quilt store that moved out to Roanoke, I think. And there was a great gift shop. I do not know why she closed. And then
Enrique's.
there was Enrique's across the street that had really good Mexican food. And there was a Pocket Place. I don't know if y'all remember the Pocket Place. That was Carolyn West's husband owned that. And then there was a carpet store on the corner. And then there were several vacant buildings.
What about the one with the horse on top of it? Horse and Rider.
Horse and Rider. Horse and Rider was pretty, I mean, when I went to high school, Horse and Rider was pretty big name down here. I mean, that was one of the draws. But there were a lot of buildings that needed refurbishing. So then when the city came in and we changed it to one-way, it was two-way.
Right.
Changed it to one-way, and they started giving money for people to make their shops look better and facade improvements. But the vibe was just very small town, very, low key. Then when the city moved the city hall down here, that's when things really started changing. City hall got here, and then One-Way Street got here, and people started revitalizing their shops, and now we have so much more to look forward to now with all the new 6-story buildings and all the apartments coming in, and it's going to bring a lot of foot traffic, which is what a lot of the restaurants and bars need, is more foot traffic.
3 years from now, Old Town will look completely different than it does right now. We've got, as you said, so many apartments being built and so many good things happening. The revitalization plan is really remarkable, and the city has done a fantastic job. I've worked with cities all over the country in various businesses, mostly restaurants. And for the most part, they can be very complex. They have a lot of codes. you know that you have to abide by, and you should, because it's for the
Yes.
safety of the people. But sometimes cities can, sometimes they can be a little more powerful than they need to be or they should be. But I'm going to tell you, when I built this restaurant or took over this restaurant and remodeled it back in 2019, I have never worked with a city that was more eager to help, that was more eager to see me succeed, that promoted what I am and who we are and what we are. Working with the city of Lewisville, for me, has been a dream.
I agree. They have, and people that talk about Old Town being not what it used to be, and oh, they're down there, putting in all this stuff, and it's not gonna, it's gonna change the look of Old Town. Well, we have to change the look of Old Town, because what it looked like before and what it looks like now is completely different. And if we're gonna be the city that we are, we have to have improvements. We have to have people here. We have to have a vibrant day and nighttime scene here.
Sure.
And the city has done nothing but be wonderful. They'll work with you. They're not as, ironclad. They will take your ideas, and if it's something that's not necessarily in their scope of rules for redoing, they'll still roll with it and let you do what you feel like is, So I have nothing but great things to say about the city.
I tell people all the time that they're more interested in improving the quality of life in the city of Lewisville, in Old Town and Lewisville proper. They're more interested in including the quality of life than they are about controlling the politics.
Exactly.
And it's very rare. I'm very grateful for them.
Me too.
So let's get back to weddings. What would you say in the last 30 years, what is the biggest change as far as wedding preparation?
Well, the internet has changed everything, because girls can go on there and look at every dress that there is, look at every venue that there is, get pricing, get all the information they need is right there. And so all day long, all they do is scroll when they're supposed to be working.
Right.
Everywhere in every industry, all they're doing is scrolling through their phones, especially if they're engaged and they're getting married. That's all they do all day long. So if you have somebody working for you that's engaged, forget it. You're not getting any productivity out of them.
I tell all my workers, well, it's not what it's all cracked up to be. So no, I'm just kidding. Carrie, what do you like most about the business? When your daily operational work, what do you like most about it?
I would say not the success, but like just being, so when we went to market this past week.
When you go to market, do you play a lot or is it all work?
It's all work.
You go to New York, there's a lot of play stuff in New York.
No, we worked the whole time. But
Until dinner at 7:45.
yeah, we literally pack it all in.
I bet you wouldn't say that. Mom wouldn't say that.
We actually tried to go an extra day, but it was,
It's hard with kids.
yeah, so we get there, and from the second we get in that cab, or we are going from
Racing.
place to place to place. So we
So
try to
where do you-
maximize our time there.
So where do you go? You go to New York and where else? And do you go to visit with the same line? Same line.
We do, and sometimes we try to. We also try to look at other lines to see what else we can bring into the store that we're missing, design-wise or price point-wise. But we go to New York, Kansas City, Chicago, and then Spain.
Oh, I want to go to Spain. I don't know anything about that business, but I'd like to go to Spain.
It's beautiful.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Amy, y'all kind of look Spanish. Amy, what do you like most about the business?
I like being able to have like a challenge. Every year we try to grow, and I think that's challenging, for a small business to make your bottom line better and better and better. And, also making our store very sought after. I do a lot of the social media and marketing, so it's a challenge. I mean, this day and age, like it's all day, every day. Like if you're not on social media or not putting new content or creating new content or putting what we offer out there, then you're going to lose customers. So I think it's challenging. One, I like the flexibility that we can have. That sometimes, if I need to leave,
That means they can go wherever they want to, whenever they want to.
Well, we've
Just
also worked
say
hard.
it, Mama.
So,
Just say
They
it.
can go travel. They can go, yeah.
well, we work
So
hard and we
when
play
you-
hard.
When you
So-
talk about growth, how much of your business is referral?
Oh, a
I'd
lot.
say 80%.
Well, a lot of it's referral, but a lot of it, like, you have to see a business 5 times to go to it.
Okay.
So if we weren't advertising, or if we weren't on the forefront of doing an awesome social media campaign, then brides would kind of be like, oh yeah, I heard about this store, but their social media and their brand doesn't look very good. Then they're not going to come. They don't care if
Sure.
they've heard about it. So it has to be a combination of both. Used to, we could just do referrals, but now it's getting to be like, okay, I'm going to look at their Instagram page and see what they have. And if we didn't have an Instagram page, I feel like a lot of brides would be like, oh, I'm going to go somewhere that does.
Got it.
So I think it's becoming more of a combination of both. The referral is very important, obviously, but I think it's changing a little bit more into having to have that presence. But I mean, we'll always, I feel like that's what we hope to have, always have the referral. Brides tell brides and brides tell brides, and it just keeps happening that way.
Real quick, how involved are you still in the business? 0. Thank you for the honesty.
I literally am
that-
0.
But that's a blessing, isn't it?
It is yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
can you sit back and go, wow, I'm so proud of my
Yes,
kids. Yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
Is Steve more involved than you are because he has to fix everything that's
All
broke?
he does is replace all those lights and fix everything that's broken.
So he's retired, but he's really not retired.
Right. He's our handyman.
And a good one.
And a good one, yes.
He kind of complains a little bit more these days.
Yeah, he does
so.
complain a little.
I'll be like, there's a light out. He's like, well, go get the ladder and change it. I'm like, okay.
You would think he wasn't well if he wasn't complaining. You know that. Ladies,
more
I am so
grumpy.
glad that you've been here. You're such a delight and such a pillar of Old Town and Lewisville, and just an amazing business that you have built. Thank you so much for being here. Terry, take us out, buddy.
Thank you for having us.